Welcome everyone. My name's Megan and I'm from Michael's, and today we are going to make a chunky hand knit pillow. So if you've never hand knit before, this class is for you. I'll definitely walk you through all the beginnings of how to do some hand knitting. If you've always kind of wanted to try, if you have done crochet or you have done knitting, you're going to be an easy switch over to hand knitting, but hand knitting doesn't require any tools at all. No hooks, no needles, no nothing. So we're just going to be using our fingers in order to make some different loops and turn them into a sweet little pillow. So I like it to be kind of like a little cushion kind of pillow. You can add more stuffing and you can make yours fluffier. And I'm even going to show you a little bonus feature that you could turn this exact same pattern into a pumpkin as well, since it is the season for pumpkins. So feel free to kind of take the pattern that we're working with and adapt it. Felicia's going to put a copy of the PDF for the pattern if you want to reference it. We're going to be walking through it pretty slowly together, so I think you're going to be able to keep up, but if you want to have this for later, I'll have it down on my camera so that you'll be able to kind of read along with me. Feel free to write it down, feel free to take a screenshot, or feel free to come back to the video afterwards and we'll have the link attached to it too so that you can see that pattern. So I would love to know in the chat, those of you who are here with me live, if you've ever done any kind of hand knitting before, or if you are a true beginner, to kind of give me a good idea of what speed we should go at. If you have questions, like Felicia said, go ahead and put them in the chat and I'd love to try and answer as many different questions as I can. So I see new hand knitting, beginner, absolutely new, first time, a little bit of knitting on a loom. Oh, that's a different kind of experience too. Very much a beginner, somebody's done crochet, first time, beginner. We have the right crowd for this project today. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to another camera and show you some of the yarn that we'll be using today. So here are some options for our yarn. And Felicia, did I switch cameras?
Yes.
Okay, I have my wrong screen on, so let me grab my right screen. There we go. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing too. So I have this Bernat Blanket Big is the yarn that I recommended for this class, and I put this onto the shopping list for today. It comes in a million different colors, not a million, but a lot of different colors. So feel free to grab whatever color you enjoy. I also made one of these pillows in this mauve color too, which I think is really pretty. Also at Michael's, we have loops and thread. And Cozy Blanket is a kind that came out that's very similar to the Bernat. So some of the stores still have some of this in stock, but it was a limited time edition. So not all stores may have this right now, but feel free if you see any of this to use it too. All that you need for this pillow is one skein of yarn and a little bit of polyfill and your fingers and scissors, and that's all you're going to need in order to make this pillow. The pillow is relatively small, so keep that in mind. But the pillow is a good place to begin. And then if you enjoy this class, guess what I have for you? A hand knit chunky heart pillow. So you can kind of up your game and play with a chunky heart. You can also use some of the same skills we're going to learn with the pillow and then take it a step further and add this pom-pom to make it into a bunny. So when we had spring, we made these bunnies out of the same kind of pillow pattern. You can also take what we learned today another step further and learn how to make kind of like a heart or like a starfish kind of pillow too. So a lot of these are going to be using the same kinds of techniques. So once you learn some of the basics today, you're going to be able to tackle a lot of different projects and make a lot of cute little things. So like I said, I like to kind of leave this like a poof. So I don't like it to be completely round. I don't stuff it. I leave it kind of squishy because I like it to be kind of like a cute poof on top of some of my other pillows, just as a little decorative piece there. So Felicia is dropping in the chat some of the different classes. So if you feel success with this class and you want to move on to the heart, the bunny, the flower, or any of the other classes that I've already taught, feel free to jump on to those. And also don't forget to make a chunky blanket while you're at it. So believe it or not, the chunky blanket is probably the easiest of all the projects I've talked about so far. The pillow that we're making today is maybe a notch harder than the blanket because the blanket is completely flat And so all the stitches go in a row, but we're going to be knitting in the round in order to make this pillow. So that doesn't make it just a tiny bit more challenging. So this particular yarn, anytime you have a skein of yarn, it has on it its weight, its size. So you'll see a little symbol, and this number 7 says that it's a jumbo yarn. And so you definitely want to use a jumbo yarn because it's going to work very quickly. And we're going to be able to complete this whole entire pillow together today in this 1-hour class. So keep that in mind that you need to be using a jumbo size 7 whenever you're picking out your yarn so that you can work it up very quickly and you can have that good chunky feel to it. So I'm going to find the yarn that's coming out of the center, and I'm going to reach into my skein and pull out the center. You can use the side pull or you can use the center pull. A lot of times people like to use the center pull because it's going to come out nicer and the yarn isn't going to keep rolling around your table. So the first thing to keep in mind is a little bit of vocabulary so that when I'm talking about things, you kind of know what I'm talking about. The whole ball of yarn is called a skein. The yarn that's coming out of the skein is called the working yarn. And when you get to the end, this is called your tail. So the very first thing we're going to do in our chunky hand knit pillow, and I'll kind of keep holding this up and I'll show this to you. You can also download this using the link. What we're going to do to make our chunky hand knit pillow is we're going to leave a 12-inch tail, and then we're going to create a slip knot. So our first skill to learn together is how to make a slip knot. And I will show this a couple of times because this can sometimes be tricky. So I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to point my fingers towards my belly. And I'm going to take the tail of the yarn, which remember is the end, and I'm going to drape it over my fingers. So here's the tail on the right-hand side of my fingers. Here's the working yarn on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to use my left hand to hold both of those, the tail and the working yarn, together. And I'm going to twist my fingers. So I'm moving my fingers away from me. I'm twisting my wrist. And what I'm doing is I'm making these yarns cross over top of each other. So notice how they're not crossed. And now by twisting, they are crossed. I'm going to take my pincher fingers and I'm going to grab the working yarn. So the working yarn, not the tail, the working yarn, and I'm going to pull that through. And now I've made this knot that's called a slip knot because it slips up and down the yarn. So I'll definitely show that again. And remember that my very first step I told you is that I wanted to leave a 12-inch tail. So I probably need to leave my tail a little bit longer, and maybe you do too if you were making your slip knot for the first time. So here are my fingers pointing towards me. I'm draping my yarn. This side has the tail, but I'm leaving plenty of room for my tail this time. This is my working yarn that's going towards the skein. I'm holding on to both of these with my left hand, and I'm going to twist my wrist around so that I wrap these two yarns over top of each other. I'm going to take my pincher fingers and I'm going to grab the working yarn, pull it through, and now I have a slip knot. So what's nice about a slip knot is that you can change its size. And I want you to change the size of your slip knot in order to make it so that it's about the size of, let's say, 4 of your fingers. So you're going to go ahead and make the slip knot, push it up so that it fits about 4 of your fingers. And then the next thing we're going to do on our pattern is we are going to do 10 chain stitches. We're going to chain 10. So the way that you chain stitch is you take your pincher fingers and you're going to grab the working yarn. So you're going to grab the working yarn and you're going to pull it through that loop that you were just holding on to. So I'll show you that again. Here are my pincher fingers. I'm going to grab onto the working yarn and I'm going to pull it through that loop. Then I'm going to put my pincher fingers through this new loop and I'm going to pull more working yarn through the loop. Sometimes you get a little bit of a twist, and you can decide if you want to twist all of them or if you want to leave all of them without a twist, but kind of try and do it the same every single time. Let me know in the chat if this is making sense and if you're able to follow along or if you need me to repeat something. So I'm going to chain 10. So I'm back to my slip knot. I have my 4 fingers, grabbing working yarn, pulling it through the loop, going through the new loop with my pinchers, grabbing the working yarn, pulling it through the loop. So that's 2. Doing it again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to do one more. 10. There we go. So now I have a chain of 10, and it looks like a couple people want to see that again. So if you're still chaining, go ahead and chain all the way to 10, and I'll kind of show that slip knot in the process again. So you want to leave a pretty long tail. So this time I'm using the gray to kind of show, and I'm going to leave a pretty long tail. So here's the end of my yarn. I'm going to go down to about here. I'm draping the yarn over. The tail is on the right-hand side. The working yarn is on the left-hand side. I've draped it over my fingers. My fingers are pointing towards my belly. I'm going to twist my fingers around. I'm going to use my pinchers, and I'm going to grab the working yarn. So you have 2 options of what to grab. If you grab the tail, it's not going to make a slip knot. It's just going to make a knot, or it's going to fall apart. If you grab the working yarn, that's what turns it into the slip knot. Someone said that their knot keeps getting bigger. So maybe you just need to push this knot a little further up on your yarn, and also give yourself some space, meaning pull out some extra yarn so that the yarn isn't too tight in your skein, because that might be kind of pulling against what you're trying to work on. And then from there, you're going to chain 10. So again, to show you with this gray yarn, just as kind of like a review, you're going to take your 4 fingers and you're going to grab the working yarn and pull it through. That makes a new chain. Grab the working yarn and pull it through. Grab the working yarn and pull it through. And you're making this chain of stitches. And it kind of looks like, I'm going to call it like a headband right now. So here's this last loop that we left off, and here's my really long tail. So the next thing I wrote down on our directions is to join. And the way that I'm going to join this together to make something round is I'm going to take the tail and I'm going to put it through my last loop. And then I'm going to pull on the working yarn to make that last loop a little bit tighter. And so I've joined this together into what I think looks like a headband. So you have all your stitches going around in a circle. You have this really long tail, and you have your working yarn. So hopefully that's okay. I can show that again if you need to. Here's the tail. I just put the tail through that last stitch. I pulled the tail all the way through, and I did pull that stitch down to kind of tighten around that tail in order to make it into a circle, which is us joining. Now comes the part of building out the pillow. So we're going to stitch 5 rounds of 10. So I made 10 stitches, and what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to make 10 stitches that are going to kind of fall out. I'm going to build the circle out, and then I'm going to build the circle back in, and that's how I'm going to make that poof kind of shape. So here, again, is my working yarn. It's attached to my skein. Here's my really long tail. Each one of these stitches has 2 parts, or basically has a center to it. So there's a top part and there's a bottom part to each stitch. So what that means is when we put our new stitches in, we're going to pull them through each one of these holes that the previous stitches made. So I'm going to go to this first hole, and I'm going to take my pinchers and I'm going to pull some yarn, and I'm going to make a new loop that goes through that stitch. Then I'm going to go to the very next stitch. Remember, there's a hole inside of every stitch. I'm going to pull a bit of that yarn, and I'm going to make a new part right here. You're going to go around and try and find all 10 of your stitches, or 10 different places to put these new loops in. You're going to try not to twist this. You're going to try and keep it all going in the same direction as you go around. So you're going to find each one of these stitches, and you're going to basically split the stitch with your pinchers to grab some yarn. And you made a loop. Go into this stitch, grab some working yarn, pull it through. Uh-oh, we have some overwhelm. So if you have not ever done this before, it is okay. You are going to have time to learn this. We are going to be able to explain this again. I am going to be able to show you some different things. Let me count how many stitches I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to put one more stitch in. So I need to find one more space to pull a loop up. And now I have 10 stitches and I have my tail. So 10 stitches and my tail. All right, I'm going to put this to the side. If you are able to follow along and understand that, and you have 10 stitches in a circle, what you're going to do next is you're going to keep building out. So you're going to do that same thing where now you're going to go through each one of these loops and you're going to pull a new stitch through each one of these new loops. So you're just taking your pinchers and going through each new stitch and pulling that same amount of this loop through each one of these. And you're going to go around and you're going to do that and you're going to build out. So you're going to do that 5 times. Don't give up yet. You can do it. Don't give up. Be patient with yourself. All right. So once you have your 10, you're going to go around. Remember, your tail is going to mark the beginning and the end of each round. Kind of count and make sure you keep 10 each time you do it. And just keep pulling the loops and kind of pulling them over. And you're going to start building the circle out. So those of you who are ready to go can keep building and do this 5 times. And then I'll show you how to kind of build back in. So those of you who are struggling, I'm going to go to my gray yarn and I'm going to try and show you a little bit of this again. So when I have my chain of stitches, here's my slip knot. I have 1, oops, I'm going to do my chain of 10 quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once I have my 10, the way that I join it together is I take the tail and I go through this loop, and then I'm going to pull on my working yarn to make that loop get a little tighter around that around that tail, so that I can join this together and make what kind of looks like a headband. Okay. Yes, so sometimes different yarn is going to be easier for beginners. So there are some really good Chanels, there are some really cool velvets, but they're sometimes hard for beginners to learn on. So that's why I chose this yarn today. So if you are at the part where you're joining and now you're not sure how to pull your stitches out of the headband, notice that the headband has these holes in it. And so these holes are where you're going to put these stitches. So I'm going to put my fingers into this first stitch here, grab some working yarn, and pull a loop. Then I'm going to go to the next one, grab some working yarn, and pull it through. And I'm going to try and find 10 places to be able to put your new stitches. So the question is, how wide should the first circle be? And I think it's probably right around 4 inches, but it's 10 stitches long. So it kind of depends on how big each one of your stitches are. Yours might be a little smaller or a little bit bigger. So I'm pulling 10 stitches through, and that's building this first layer that I'm going to build on. And you'll notice that your pillow has a hole in the middle. And so we are going to fix that at the end. That's why we left a really big tail. So I'm going to count and see if I have 10. And if I don't have 10, I'm going to find another place to add one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can go in between here and find another place to pull up some yarn. 9. And I can go in between here and pull a spot. 10. And once you have 10 and you have your tail marking the beginning and end of your circle, you're going to start building out. So I'm going back to my blue yarn where I left off. And after I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in my tail, I'm going to go to each one of these loops and I'm going to pull a new loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, pulling some yarn out of my skein, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And not only do I have my 10 stitches, but I'm back to where my tail is, so I know I'm at the beginning. So we're doing 5 rounds, and so far I have done 2 rounds. So I'm going to use a little marker to kind of keep track. I've done 1, 2 rounds so far. I'm making little tick marks on my pattern. I'm going to do this 5 times to build out the circle, and then we're going to start building back in together. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to pull a loop, and I'm going to keep going. Here's my tail. So that was 1, 2, 3. You might notice I'm moving my pillow around. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're back to the beginning. And we've done another round. So I'm making a little tally mark because we're trying to do 5 rounds. And then we're going to keep going, do another round. And I kind of want to show you what we're doing. So on this side, we're making what are called knit stitches. And on this side, we're making what are called purl stitches. So the purl stitches are kind of horizontal, and the knit stitches make these cool V shapes. So we're going to put this on the outside of our pillow, the knit side. They're both pretty, and you can easily do either side, but I'm going to put the knit stitches on the outside of my pillow. All right, I'm back to the next round. I'm about to start round 4. So I'm pulling 1, 2, 3. And if something falls out, like this just fell out, if you have something that looks long and dangly, that probably just means one of your stitches fell out. So you can put your pinchers back through that loop and pull it back, and now you're back in business. So each of these little kind of like petal-like things floating out of the middle should have a row of stitches. I think I was at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm back to the beginning. I'm back to my tail. I've done 4 rounds. This is my last round before we start making it go back in. Okay, 1, 2. I'm going to put this tail in the center. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm back to the beginning. So I have done 5 rounds and I've built out my pillow, but now I want my pillow to start coming back together to make that round poof shape. So because the knit stitches are going to be on the outside of my pillow, I'm going to flip my work over, because now I'm going to try and pull my stitches to be able to start closing it up. So this is what it looks like on the other side. Here is this piece right here. This is the tail. I just kind of wrapped it up and put it in the center. And your stitches are hiding at the ends of each one of these purl chains. So you're going to find your loops on the end of each one of these. And you should still have your 10 different loops. So I'm working on a flat surface, and I can kind of flatten it out to be able to see those. Make it look like a big turtle. And if any of them slip out, you can just put them back in. and then we're ready to keep going. So this time, when we're doing our rounds, we're going to do 5 more rounds, but we're going to be pulling the stitches a little bit of a different direction. So I'm going to be pushing the stitch out. So instead of me pulling it up and over, I'm going to push it down and through. And then I'm going to go to the next one and push it down and through. And the goal is for these to start coming towards the center. So I kind of am holding it as I go in order to help it go in that direction. So if something falls out, if something is loose, that means that it came out of the stitch. So I can put this back in. And I'm pulling down and through. I'm going down and through. Going to pull some more yarn. If your stitches are falling out, you might need to make sure that you don't have too much tension coming from the skein. So go ahead and give yourself some extra working yarn to work with up here. That might help a little bit. Down and through. Down and through. And I should be counting these also. Down and through. And down and through. Let me see where I'm at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got back to my 10. So now I've done one more round of 10. I'm building in. So this time when I go around, I'm going to be doing the same thing, but what's happening is I'm trying to make the distance between my stitches shorter, and that's what's going to help pull these stitches back together. So I'm trying to make this distance a little shorter when I'm pulling them together, and I'm going through this one, pushing it down and through, and I'm going to kind of try and keep my stitches up each time. So instead of laying them down like I did when we were building up, I'm going to pull them in. So I'm going down and through this one, and I'm pulling it in towards the center so I can start to see that shape happen. So I have 3 done so far. Down and through, and pulling it closer to the center. Down and through, pulling it closer to the center. And hopefully you're able to keep up, but if this is hard, know that this video is going to be available and you can watch it at a slower pace. You can rewatch the same parts over and over again so that you can figure out where you might be making a mistake. And then you'll be able to be on track with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Push down and through. 7. Down and through. 8. Down and through. 9. And down and through. 10. So I'm making the length in between each one of my stitches shorter, which is what's helping this to kind of curve in to make like that bowl shape. And I've done another round, so I can mark another round. I'm going to do this 3 more times to build inside. And then I'm going to show you how to use kind of like a drawstring in order to finish it up. Felicia, I think that there's another Chunky Knit Pillow YouTube video I made that's already available. So if we want to drop that in the chat too, some people might want that right away if this video isn't available till Monday. Down and through. Here's 1, pulling it towards the center. Down and through. So remember, we're trying to make these stitches shorter in between each stitch. 2, 3, 4. Thank you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I finished another round. And honestly, if this round part is the hardest part for you, I honestly think a blanket is going to be even easier, because with the blanket, it stays flat the whole time and you can see all of your stitches. So if you are getting frustrated with this, don't worry. We have videos on how to make the blanket too, and the blanket honestly might be a better place for you to start. So think about trying that because you won't be going in the round. Going in the round makes it just a little bit trickier than the other one. I have 3 rounds done. So you can see kind of the shape that's happening, and you can kind of see all these cool ridges, and these knit stitches are all on the outside of my pillow. So I'm trying to get these stitches to be shorter in between to kind of cinch this back up together. So I'm about to do another round of 10 where I'm pulling the stitches 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give myself some more yarn to work with. 7, 8, 9, 10. Finished another round. So I'm on my last round of 10 stitches, building this pillow back in. So we built it out. Now we're building it back in. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Need some more yarn. 9, 10.
Hey, Megan,
Yes.
before you go to the next, just really quick, I want to put this in on everyone's mind because I know that everyone is trying to watch you and may not look in the chat. So I'd rather say it out loud. So the links will not go into your email. However, if you are on a laptop, you should be able to click on the 3 dots next to the class name. I do believe it's next to the class name, but it's most of the time it's in the chat where you can save the chat. So look to find the 3 dots with the word more and save the chat so that you can be able to save any of the links that I have dropped into the chat.
Great suggestion. Thank you. Yeah, and if you need the pattern again and you're leaving this video, you can take a screenshot. You can also on my Instagram, my personal Instagram is 4M Coleman. So on 4M Coleman, there are a couple of highlights in the little highlight section of Instagram that you can click on where it'll show you how to make a slip knot again, if that's the sticking part. It'll show you how to chain stitch if that's the sticking part. And then it has a couple of the links that we've talked about here too, so you can keep that in mind. All right, so I've done both of my 5s and I am ready. So it says at this point that I need to cut a long tail. I'm going to use a long tail to make like a drawstring and close up the top. And then I'm going to go back to the original tail and make kind of like a drawstring and close up the bottom. So I do want to leave a pretty long drawstring. So I think I'm going to leave about a foot, about 12 inches. And I'm going to cut this away from the rest of the skein. So what I'm going to do with this drawstring is I have all these cute loops that I just finished, all 10 of them. I'm going to take the tail and I'm going to sew through basically each one of these loops, or I'm connecting these loops together. So I'm going to take the tail and go through the loop. I'm going to take the tail and go through the next loop. And I'm going from the inside of the pillow out with my drawstring. So I'm going in the same direction every time from the inside, going out, inside, going out, inside, going out. And I'm connecting all these stitches together, and you'll see that your pillow is starting to come together. And I think I have 2 more. There we go. So now I have this where all the stitches are attached to this one tail. So once you have this tail, what you can do is gently pull on this tail, and I'm pulling all of those stitches together. And look how that just kind of makes that nice little flower, nice little round pattern where it pulls all of those stitches together so nicely. And so this is making the front of our pillow. We do still have this tail. So you can just take the tail and go through any one of the stitches and push it through your blanket or your pillow. And I just pushed it through a stitch, and here it is on the other side where I can pull it all the way through if I want to. And this is my tail from the very beginning. So this is what I just took. You can put it inside the pillow. This is what it looks like when I pulled that drawstring together. Doesn't that look so nice with all those ridges and all those kind of flowering out? And then over here, I have to close this up. But before you close it up, you need to add some of your polyfill or your fiberfill. So take a handful of fiberfill and kind of fluff it out for yourself. And you're going to push it into your pillow, and you're going to decide how fluffy you want your pillow to be. So if you saw the pumpkins I was showing at the beginning of class, and you want to make yours into a pumpkin instead of a pillow, what I suggest is making it really nice and big and fluffy. So add a lot of fill, and you can kind of purposely poof it in the direction of making it into a rounder shape for a pumpkin. And then we can take a little bit of burlap and put it up here to make a pumpkin. Now, if you want to make yours like a poof pillow, which is kind of the pillows that I've been showing, I don't use a lot of stuffing because I want them to be a little bit flatter, and I want them to be kind of just a little poof to put on top of another pile of pillows. So I might take just a little bit more fiberfill, but not a ton. So maybe just another small handful and put it in. And then I'm going to take my tail, and this is my last step where I'm going to go ahead and drawstring this together. So what we did was we made our original tail, we did a slip knot, we chained 10, we made it into that little headband by joining it together and kind of pulling that stitch nice and tight. Then we built out by pulling our loops up and over, like up and over the rest of our headband. And then when we were making our stitches come in, we were pushing the stitches out and in, out and in, and we did that 5 rounds. Then I just closed up the drawstring on the other side with that last tail by going through each one of those final loops and pulling it slowly and gently to kind of drawstring that center together and close up that hole. And now I have this last drawstring where you can see all of these kind of like loops. So you can see all these upper bumps of each one of these stitches. And basically I'm going to take the tail and I'm going to go through or go under each one of those bumps. So here's the next bump. I'm going to go through it. Next bump and go through it. And I'm going from the inside of the pumpkin out every single time just to keep my stitches, keep my drawstring all in the same direction. And I'm finding each one of these bumps and I'm pulling my yarn out. And I'm pulling my yarn out. And I'm going all the way around, creating this drawstring. And I think I'm back to the beginning. I am. So you can see that this is what I have. Now everything's connected onto this drawstring. So when I slowly and carefully pull that drawstring, look what happens again. We have such a nice, cute little pattern with a beautiful center. You do have this extra tail that's hanging out. So feel free to push the tail through and push it into the body of your pillow. You can tie knots if you need to, but honestly, I don't think it's going to come undone. And now you have your cute, fluffy pillow. You still have plenty of yarn on your skein, so honestly, you can make another one of these pillows, or if you want to make a pumpkin and a pillow, you can do that. So this is it for the pillow, and look how adorable it is. If you have any stitches that are a little bit wider where too much of your stuffing shows through, then you can always kind of go back and tie in extra pieces where you tie those stitches together. And you can always just hide any of your extra yarn inside of the pillow itself. All right, so we do have a little bit more time. which means I'm gonna kind of take some time and answer some questions or maybe try and explain some things in a different way. So feel free to ask me things in the chat and I'll see if I can explain things to you a little bit differently now that we've finished the pillow.
And
Hopefully those, yeah, go ahead, Felicia.
so there's a couple,
Questions?
yeah, I'll say it that way. So
Okay.
one, if you can possibly go over, once you do your first 10 chains, how
Uh-huh.
you join it together.
Sure.
And also if you can go over if you want to make your pillow bigger,
Uh-huh.
what your steps would be to make it bigger.
Great. Okay, we can do that. So yes, if you I'll first do the chain 10 and the joining. But talking about the bigger, so what we did with our 10 stitches was we built out 5 rounds, which made it this big was how wide those 5 rounds are. If you want to start with a higher number than chaining 10, if you want to chain 15, if you want to chain 20, you're going to have a bigger circle to start with. And that means you're going to have more loops. And so you can go out wider, like 5 rounds of 20 instead of 5 rounds of 10, and then 5 rounds coming back in of 20. And then your drawstring's still going to pull all 20 of those together and it's still going to close up that circle. So no matter how big you make that headband or that original circle, that's going to help you to make a bigger size pillow for sure. If you wanted a small, cute, teeny tiny, or if you were actually trying to make a pumpkin instead, you could use a different kind of yarn that was a little thinner, and then you could end up with something smaller also. So that answers the bigger question. And then going back to the joining 10, here's my slip knot. My fingers are pointing towards my belly. I'm holding on. And feel free, those of you who have already successfully made a pillow, feel free to join along with me right now and we'll see what else we can make in a little bit. So because the fiber fill is loose in here, I would take the fiber fill out before you would do any washing. Otherwise, I think it might clump and be a little bit weird. But if you take the fiber fill out, this yarn is washable, and on the directions, it'll tell you on the label. So if you keep your label of your yarn, it tells you how to wash it or what the best care instructions are. It's on the reverse of this label, so keep that in mind. But I would not wash it with the fiber fill just loose in there because, like I said, I think it's going to clump weird and it's going to dry weird. So take the filling out and then feel free to wash it and put your filling back in. All right, joining 10, here we go. Here's my slip knot. I'm pointing towards myself. I'm holding on to the working yarn in the tail with my other hand. I'm twisting my wrist. I'm using my pinchers. I'm grabbing my working yarn. I'm pulling it through. I'm pulling on the working yarn and I'm pulling on the loop. And then this is making this slip knot, which slips up and down. Make your slip knot so that you have about 4 fingers that fit through. And those 4 fingers, your pinchers, are going to grab some of the working yarn and pull it through. That's 1. Grab some working yarn, pull it through 2. Grab, pull it through 3. Grab, pull it through 4. Grab, pull it through 5. Grab 6. Grab 7. Grab 8. Grab 9. Grab 10. Now, if you want it to make your pillow bigger, instead of doing 10, this is where you could keep adding more stitches. If you're going to make the same size, then you want to take your tail, and your tail is going to go through that very last loop. So you pull that tail all the way through your very last loop. And that very last loop is kind of big. So you want to pull on the working yarn in order to make that last loop a little bit smaller and to kind of let it grab onto this. So how long is your chain row? Before I joined it, let's see, I think I have a ruler handy. It's 10 chains long, and everybody's chains will kind of depend on how tight your stitches are and what type of yarn you're using. Here's my ruler. It is almost perfectly 12 inches is my original chain row. Another question in the chat is asking, how do you keep your stitches uniform? And that's a great question. So I'm going to go back 2 stitches. And when I'm in one of my loops, the way that you can keep your stitches uniform is by kind of measuring them. So notice how this loop is big enough to fit my 4 fingers through. So when I make this next loop, I want that loop to also be big enough to fit 4 of my fingers through. If I pull too much yarn, if more than my 4 fingers fit through, then these are going to be uneven. So you can pull on the working yarn in order to make that stitch back to the same measurement. So use your pincher fingers in order to kind of keep double checking with each one of your stitches to make sure that each of your stitches are about the same length. If your fingers fit through on each one, then you're going to keep that chain nice and even. If you have, if only a couple fingers fit through or too many fingers fit through, then that's not going to be even. So the final size of this pillow, the one using the exact pattern and the exact yarn, is probably about perfectly 12 inches. It is rounded, and I don't use a ton of stuffing because I don't want it too globe-like. I want it to be a little flatter and more oval shaped. So it is probably right around 12 inches for that finished one. I think we're good. I want to show another option. So those of you who might have been frustrated so far with working in the round, if this really is your first time, once you have your chain of 10, instead of doing it in the round, let me just show you kind of how much easier the blanket would be for you. So in the blanket, what we would do instead of joining these together is we are just going to start building rows going this way. And then we're going to keep everything going in the same direction, and you don't have to worry about the round part at all. So if I was building this into a blanket or even a pillow that's a flat pillow or a square pillow instead of a round pillow, what I would do next is I would make sure that my tail is coming up from my chains. So if I have it this way, notice how the tail or this, sorry, working yarn is going towards my table. But when I flip my chain like this, now this is going to be coming up towards me. I'm going to go through each one of these chains the same way we did in the round, and I'm going to pull a loop through each one of these holes in my chain. So here's me pulling this loop 1. Notice how I left this one off to the side. Here's my next one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my 10th one is that one that's hanging off at the end. So this is a flat line. It does start to curve because these loops are bigger than the original chain, but it'll even itself back up and make it very square. And then when I go to the next round, I just pull a loop through and go this other way. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I make sure I grab this guy who was hanging out down here and pull him in for 10. And so you can already see what I'm starting to build up. And if I wanted to make a square pillow instead of a round pillow, I can just make a really long rectangle and fold it in half. And then I can just kind of seam the sides with my yarn, kind of like how I did with the drawstring, using almost like a whip stitch to go around with that extra yarn and kind of keep both of those sides of the pillow together and stuff it. And you're going to have a really cool square pillow. So I'm going to keep going with this and answer a couple more questions if you have any. If you're able to make a pillow, I would love to see it. So please share it with us and tag us at Learn with Michaels on Instagram. And then we can show it off to everybody and you can be so proud of your new pillow. These do make really sweet gifts. If you have someone in college and you just need something to kind of hug and put on their dorm bed to just remind them that you're here, maybe put a little bit of your perfume or spray or cologne on it so that they can kind of just give it a hug when they need a hug, that kind of thing. It's a great little gift to give to somebody and just call it a hug pillow because it's just real nice and sweet in a small size. And so you can tell that I can do this part a lot faster because I've had a lot of practice, but also because not having to go in the round will make this a lot faster. So then at the end, I could put it back into the round if I wanted to by kind of stitching this together. And you can also make a pumpkin this way. So you'll notice I'm making kind of the ridges. And then if I seam this together, I can just make another quick little pumpkin, and I can do a drawstring on the top of these and pull it together. I think I'll go ahead and do that just to finish off our class. So I'm going to cut a tail. It's a pretty long tail. And I'm going to take the tail and go through that last stitch I just did, or the first stitch. And just like we did on the top of the pillow, I'm going from the inside of the circle out each time with my tail when I'm creating this drawstring. Oops, I grabbed the wrong tail. Silly. So I'm going from the inside out, inside out, inside out, all the way around. And I'm making a drawstring for pulling this little mini pumpkin together with my extra yarn. There we go. I can see it taking shape. I hope you can see it too. There's not a link for the pumpkin because honestly, I would use exactly the same pattern that I had before, and I would just stuff it differently. And then I would take a little bit of burlap to make that stem. So I'm pulling the drawstring to pull all of this closely together. That's adorable. And then I need to seam up the side. So this is the part that wasn't attached because I did it flat. So the way I'm going to seam up this side is by going through each side. It's kind of like sewing. So I'm going through a stitch over here and then going through a stitch over here. I know I'm doing this pretty quickly. Going through.
And really quick, while you do that, Megan,
Sure.
just to remind everyone, again, you can click on the three dots that says more and then do save chat in order to save the chat.
Yep.
I don't believe that there is an option if you're on your cell phone. So what I would do is I would open up the chat so that you can see the links that I added here towards the end and do a screenshot so that you can have it. But again, of course, when you go on to michaels.com on YouTube, you can always type in hand knit, whatever the option is, whether it's the blanket, the heart, or the
Yep.
bunny,
Bunny.
and be able to pull those up.
Absolutely. So what I just did was I tied those pieces together. I pushed them into my pumpkin. I hid them. I stuffed it. And then I have this little bit too. So if I take a little bit of extra yarn, about 12 inches, and kind of do a drawstring here too, I'm going to be able to close up this pumpkin and look at me making a pillow and a pumpkin in one class, right? So yes, I hope that you do give this another try. A Halloween pumpkin that started as a pillow. See, exactly. You make it your way. All right, and I have drawstring this up. I'm back to where I began. I'm just tying a knot. And what's great about this big yarn is that it's very forgiving and you can't see my knots because it's so chunky. So I'm easily able to hide that. And then I just take a little piece of burlap. Now, do I have burlap? Aha! Just take a little bit of burlap and kind of roll it up. And you can stick it in. Oh my goodness. And you made yourself an adorable little pumpkin. You can decide where and how you want that stem to be. You can add a little bow or a little ribbon. But look at that. So someone was trying the blanket and found that they could do the blanket a lot better. So that's awesome. Yes, give it a try. So there we go. We have a pumpkin and a pillow in one class. This has been such a joy. I've really enjoyed myself. I hope that you have too. Don't give up. Watch the video. Keep trying. I know you can do it. And please come back and craft with us again. Felicia and I are here on Thursdays and Fridays with all kinds of new classes for you to try out. Have a good weekend. See you soon.